Have you ever looked in the mirror, hit a back pose, and just realized your progress has completely hit a wall? You're putting in the time, you're sweating it out on the gym floor, but those coveted gains in size and width just aren't showing up. Well, if your back growth is stalling, you are definitely not alone. It's notoriously one of the most stubborn areas to build. But today, we're going to fix that.
Welcome to this explainer. I am thrilled you're tuning in. Today, our mission is to completely demystify back training. We're going to be drawing heavily on some incredible data-backed insights from AI Advanced Pro to uncover the absolute best exercises to build both width and thickness. By the time we're done here, you won't just be guessing at the gym anymore, you are going to have a master plan.
So here is exactly how we're going to break this down today. First, the anatomy of your back. Then, vertical pulls for width, horizontal pulls for thickness, building a balanced routine, and finally, avoiding common training mistakes.
All right, to kick things off, let's establish the golden rule of this explainer right out of the gate. If you take away just one single concept today, let it be this. Back width comes from pulling things vertically down, while back thickness comes from pulling things horizontally towards you. It really is that simple. Pull-ups give you the wide lats, and rows give you the thick traps and rhomboids. You absolutely need both if you want to build a truly impressive physique.
Section 1. The anatomy of your back. Know your muscles. Let's break down this anatomy, because the back isn't just one big sheet of muscle, right? Think of it like a giant puzzle. Your latissimus dorsi, or your lats, are those massive muscles on the sides of your back. These are what create that iconic V-taper for width. Then you've got the trapezius, the upper, mid, and lower traps, which give you that dense, visible thickness when someone looks at you from the side. Tucked beneath them are the rhomboids, which reinforce that mid-back density, and running straight down your spine are the spinal erectors, keeping your posture rock solid. Neglect either the width or the thickness muscles, and your back is always going to look, well, a bit incomplete.
Section 2. Vertical pulls for width. Building the V-taper.
So if we had to crown one single movement as the absolute king of back width, it's the pronated grip pull-up. That means your palms are facing forward away from you. This is literally the ultimate compound exercise. And why does it dominate? Because it gives your lats a completely unbeatable full stretch at the top and a deep maximum contraction at the bottom. Honest truth, no machine in your gym is going to fully replicate the functional stretch and raw strength gains of a strict pull-up.
But listen, execution is everything here. You want to grip just slightly wider than your shoulders. Start from a dead hang with relaxed shoulder blades. Now here is the real secret sauce. Stop thinking about pulling your chin over the bar. Actually, scratch that. It's more like actively think about driving your elbows down toward your hips. Rise up until your chest nearly touches the bar, and absolutely no kipping or doing the worm allowed. Then fight gravity on the way down with 2 to 3 seconds of control. That is how you force those lats to grow.
Now, if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but I can't even do one strict pull-up yet, do not stress. You have scalable alternatives. You can use assisted pull-up machines, resistance bands, or wide-grip lat pull-downs. You can also throw in some dumbbell pullovers to isolate the lats through a really deep stretch. Just start where you are and progress the load week by week.
Moving on to Section 3. Horizontal pulls for thickness. Density from the side. If the pull-up gives you wings, the horizontal pull gives you armor. And for thickness, there's an undisputed heavy-loading champion, the bent-over barbell row. This is a heavy-hitting necessity, guys. The barbell row massively recruits the rhomboids, the mid-traps, and your entire central back area, all while your spinal erectors are just working overtime to keep you stable. It's foundational.
Let's talk about clean execution of the row, because this is where so many people mess up. Hips back, torso angled somewhere between 45 degrees and parallel to the floor. You're going to pull that bar right up to your lower sternum or upper abdomen, keeping your elbows tucked close, and aggressively squeeze those shoulder blades together at the top. And pay attention to this rule from our source. If you're using your torso momentum to stand up and cheat on every single rep, lighten the load. 8 strict reps will always beat 12 sloppy ones, for sure.
Section 4. Building a balanced routine. Putting it all together. So, do you have to choose between focusing on width or thickness? Absolutely not. While you could tweak this ratio, say a 60-40 vertical split if you really want that V-taper, or 60-40 horizontal for massive side density, a 50-50 balance is really the recommended sweet spot for the vast majority of us. A complete back routine blends them perfectly.
And here is exactly what that looks like in practice. Think of this as your actionable blueprint to take straight to the gym. 4 sets of pronated pull-ups for width, 4 sets of heavy barbell rows for thickness. Then we hit slightly higher rep ranges for hyperfocus, 3 sets of neutral lat pull-downs for width,
and 3 sets of one-arm dumbbell rows for thickness. Boom. You are hitting the back from every possible angle in one powerful session.
To put this into perspective, the crucial number you want to remember is 16 to 20. According to the data, hitting 16 to 20 working sets per week for your back is the optimal range to maximize hypertrophy for intermediate lifters. And look, the golden rule of progressive overload still applies here. You need to be adding 5 pounds or squeezing out 1 extra clean rep every single week.
Finally, Section 5. Avoiding common training mistakes. Don't sabotage your gains.
Let's troubleshoot some frustrating errors. Mistake number 1 is pulling with your biceps instead of your back. This is incredibly common. Your biceps are smaller, weaker muscles. They should only assist the movement, not drive it. You have to actively concentrate on initiating every single rep by moving your shoulder blades first, not your arms. Mistake number 2, cutting your range of motion. We have all seen the guy doing rapid-fire half pull-ups at the gym. Listen, a half pull-up literally leaves the bottom of your lats unemployed. If your row stops a foot away from your stomach, your rhomboids just aren't doing the work. You need a full, deep stretch and a hard contraction to actually trigger the muscle damage that leads to growth.
Mistake 3 is a total lack of variety. If you use the exact same grip on the exact same bar for 3 years, your back is going to adapt and stop growing. Pronated, supinated, neutral, wide, narrow, every single variation stimulates slightly different muscle fibers. You've got to rotate your grip variations every 4 to 6 weeks to keep that stimulus fresh.
Which brings up a really profound point from our source. The back is the hardest area to feel. If you can't feel the muscle working, you aren't growing it. Establishing a mind-muscle connection is non-negotiable. Taking just 30 seconds before your set to do slow, unweighted activation movements where you literally just focus on squeezing the lats and rhomboids will completely change how your working sets feel. It's a real game changer. And mistake 4 is hitting the back too often with adequate rest. Remember, the back is a massive muscle group, and muscles do not grow while you're lifting them. They grow outside of the gym while you are resting. The science tells us the back needs a full 48 to 72 hours of recovery between intense sessions. Patience and rest are just as mandatory as lifting heavy.
To wrap this explainer up, let's bring it all back to one core concept. There's no single magic bullet for a massive back, but there is an unbeatable duo. Pull-ups are your blueprint for width, and barbell rows are your blueprint for thickness. Master these 2 movements, vary your angles, and you will build a spectacular back.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. You now have the absolute best blueprint, the right anatomy knowledge, and the balanced routine. But the real question is, the next time you step into the gym, are you actually going to demand progressive overload and push for that extra rep? Or are you just going to go through the motions? The payoff is waiting for you. Get to work, stay patient, and we'll see you in the next explainer.